So we're here with Manchester's own Foxglove.
Hello.
Hi, how are you all doing?
Oh, good, thank you.
Brilliant. So yeah, I thought we'd just chat a bit about your latest single. So you recently released Bright Lights. Can you tell us a bit about the track?
Yeah, so Bright Lights, we started writing Bright Lights, funnily enough, last year it was. I always think that people seem to think that with bands that when they release a track, it's their, the most recent one. But this one we actually wrote in September last year. I was on the train to London and wrote some lyrics, and then I came back from London and I was like, I think we should try and put something together with these lyrics. And then what we created, it just seemed to fit so well, and that's how Bright Lights became what it was. But at the time, we had quite a few singles that we wanted to release before that, that we were working on. So it actually took us a while to come to Bright Lights. But yeah, we started working on it, like sometimes a little bit at home by ourselves. We learned a lot whilst we've been at home, like home recording, and just so we can try and move ourselves forward with the track. But yeah, Bright Lights is, we started writing it last September. It's kind of about being blinded by the good times that you can spend with someone or in a situation, and you kind of forget about the bad times and all you're thinking about is those good times. But you need to remember that there are those difficult times underneath as well.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned you started recording it on your way to London. Did you say on the train?
I started writing the lyrics on. Just the lyrics came to mind then, but it didn't fully form into a song until we got back and we played around with the lyrics and moved them around a bit to make them suit the different the structure of the song.
Okay, great. So what musical influences have gone into the track then?
So Ryan would normally be the first one. He's not here at the moment. We'd normally be the first one to come up with a guitar. And he put in like his influence at the time. I think he said it was like Prince or 80s influence, and he wanted that nostalgic feel that Prince gives you, like in Purple Rain. Yeah. And we went with kind of something like that.
Okay, brilliant.
Kind of all fell into place.
Right, great. And I assume you all have your own individual influences. How do you match them up when you're actually putting a track in place?
I think.
Go on, Joe.
Mainly because all the stuff we self-record and get somebody else to mix and master it. So I think for me, mainly it's like the actual sort of production process of creating the song and creating how it's actually going to sound is like a massive part of where my influences come from. And I don't think it's quite possible for me to pinpoint exactly where those influences come from. It's just whatever's around, whatever's like sort of on the radio at the moment, that's what sort of influences me quite heavily when producing the track.
Yeah, I think what everyone listened to at the time, what I'm big into at the time, so I think I was quite into Sam Fender at the time.
We all were, weren't we?
Yeah, so the big sounding drums, the nostalgic feel, I think that really came into it.
Oh, I think with this one, we wanted to try and do a lot of it ourselves in terms of the video we wanted to make ourselves, and the artwork and everything about this track we wanted to try and do it ourselves this time, just as like a little project to keep us going. But I guess that was quite a challenge because with the artwork, I did it because I wanted to learn how to do digital drawing this year, and that was a challenge. And then with the video, like we'd never made our own video ourselves before. I mean, we've had help from like our camera guy Spencer, shout out to him. But in terms of direction, we've never really thought so much creatively, I think, about the direction that we wanted a single to go in and how we wanted the video and the artwork to be. So I think that was a big challenge as well. But I think I'm so glad that we did it, because now that we've done it once, it just opens up doors to try and do it again yourself. And we're already thinking of ideas for our next single and like the imagery and how we want it to look and things like that. So I think it was definitely worth doing it.
Yeah. No, I think getting the song to come across as it does when we play it live as well, because it's a very big aesthetic song, which really does well towards the end of our set normally as well. So we wanted to get that kind of feel into it as well.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, you mentioned the video as well. Then it was something I was going to come onto. the fact that you did that yourselves, self-directed. How did you actually approach that at the start then? What was your thought process when you went into that?
Go on, Joe.
Actually, Spencer, the guy who filmed it, he lives with myself. So we were quite lucky to have somebody that was sort of on hand that would be able to film it for us. And it was mainly, we spent about 2 weeks just looking at other music videos, what we liked, if we wanted a storyline and things like that. And in the end, we wanted to, because there's no live gigs at the moment, we wanted to sort of be like a live gig in a video. And I think we did. Well.
I think with this video as well, like the other videos that we've got for our track Selfish and Slow, we're not jumping around like we do when we're live. Like with Selfish, it's quite an emotive track, so it's not really the tone for jumping about with. But with Bright Lights, like it's definitely like one of our bounciest songs, and we wanted to really convey that through the video as well.
Okay, fantastic. And you mentioned that's something you'd look to do again then?
Definitely. Yeah, we've already been chatting. Like as soon as we release the video for Bright Lights, we're like, right, let's think of ideas for like what's the next single will be and how we're going to make it look visually and the themes that we're going to go with it. So it's just, I think it has opened our eyes creatively, like what we are capable of doing and what we can do in the future.
Brilliant. Okay. Now, obviously, you've touched on the lack of live gigs at the moment. How have you had to promote this track differently then? Because normally you've got live gigs you can fall back on, and you do all the stuff like social media and that, but how you had to approach it this time?
Mainly through social media, isn't it? Pretty much all of it, apart from like radio play, blogs and stuff.
I think
we've had to really go with a theme and try and grab people's attention, haven't we?
Yeah. And because obviously we've not been able to do live gigs, we've been trying to do covers as well. Like I mentioned before, we've all taught ourselves the basics of that home recording so that we can, at least when we're not together, like we've not seen each other in real life for ages, it feels like forever.
Yeah.
But we can still like work together. And it's been nice that we've all been able to learn how to do that and still work on stuff, even though we're apart. We're still together. We're still together, even though we're apart. So poetic.
It's been important as well that we try to make sure that it's not just music related stuff that we're releasing. We did a series a couple of months back that I'm sure we're going to bring back soon, which was Cooking with Foxglove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw those.
Made some, what was it, vegan mac and cheese or something.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
You've just got to come up with ideas, don't you, to keep your fans entertained, because they're at home doing nothing. We're at home doing nothing, so we might as well have a chat.
So, I mean, you touched upon the home recording then, and you've done some covers. That must have been quite a logistical challenge, doing that, fitting them together. How did you approach it?
We've got Joe to thank for that, so I'll let you take this one, Joe.
You know what? It's been a lot of trial and error, and like every time we release a cover that we think the next best way to do it, we started off with, we did an acoustic version of our original track Tuesday, and that was literally every single part of it was recorded on our phones. And we sort of developing from that, we thought, well, there's still elements that we can record live, maybe not without microphones, but we can still plug in and record the actual sound of it. So it's gone from playing it through our phones to actually starting to get something that is like a polished mix almost, which we're quite happy for. Something that isn't, because we're to our own devices, something that isn't really as good as a whole single, how it sounds, but something that is, captivating enough for people to watch on Facebook and YouTube and things like that. So I think it's been a progression throughout recording it, really, different methods.
Okay, brilliant. And And you've also done, I think you've done some live streams as well, haven't you? Live performances.
Yeah, we've done. We did one for Sucker. Me and Ryan did that, an acoustic set, which was really fun. Actually, that was the first like live set that we'd done. And then we did a really exciting one. We did Finsbury Festival, online festival over the summer, which was to raise money for the NHS. And it was put on by a bunch of 1975 fans. And they approached us and asked if we wanted to do it. And we put together like a short set for them, like a pre-recorded one, all separately in our bedrooms, which was mad. But yeah, we couldn't believe it when they asked us to do that, because the lineup that they managed to get for that festival, like there was Bieber Doobie on it, Alfie Templeman, and then we were on the lineup as well, and it was just really weird to see us alongside like Bieber Doobie. It just was mad, but yeah, it was really good. It was really good, and we're so thankful that they had us on, and of course, like to raise money for the NHS as well. And it was the first time that they'd ever arranged anything like that before as well. So, like, hats off to them. They did a brilliant job, and maybe they'll be tempted to do another one next year, maybe in real life.
Yeah. I mean, the live streaming, the home recording is amazing, but you must be missing live gigs.
Oh, yeah. It's what you want to be doing when you're in a band, isn't it? It's the one thing you want to do the most.
Yeah.
I mean, how does your mindset change when you're doing the live streaming and the home recording compared with the live shows?
The thing is, with live shows, like, I remember I heard on a podcast once that with a live show, anything can go wrong at any point. And that's like the beauty of it, is that you never know what to expect, like, but you know that it's always going to be like euphoric and it's brilliant. With home recording and live streaming, it's a lot more refined. So I think when we go back to live gigging, it'll probably be like a year since we've done a live gig. It'll definitely be a shock for us, but I'm so excited to get back, just because the feeling that you get when you're on stage, it's unbeatable, really. Like, you just can't compare. Nothing compares to it. Like, it's just brilliant, especially when like it's a Friday night and the room's packed out and everybody's having a good time, and it's amazing, and nothing can beat that.
Nice. Brilliant. So the single's out, the video's out, fantastic track. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
What's next? So what are you going to turn your attention to next? More cooking, new single?
Yeah, next single, definitely. Got to try and stay active throughout this, because we're going back in another lockdown, aren't we? So we've got to try and remain active, get out a new single.
You might cook a pot noodle, might you, Liam?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, maybe baking with Foxglove.
Sounds good to me.
So
We can get Spencer, the cameraman, to make banging banana bread for us.
yeah, I made a good banana milkshake last night.
We can have a banana-themed cooking.
We could do. There we go. That's the next thing. Bananas with Foxglove. Go bananas.
Awesome. That sounds like a plan to me. Brilliant. Right. Well, thank you very much. That covers it for us. And if there's anything else you want to get out there to your fans?
Just thank you so much for listening to us and all the support on this single. Like, we are so overwhelmed and so appreciative all the time of everybody who streams our music, and it really does mean so much to like little artists like us. And yeah, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy what's to come from Foxglove.